Hey everyone, welcome to Degree to PE's FE Civil Exam Prep course. Today is Module 1, where we'll be going over everything that you need to know about the FE Civil exam. So whether you're preparing for the exam or you just learned about the exam and you're trying to figure out where to start, this video is going to be great for you. My name is Simone and I will be your tutor throughout this course. A little bit about me: I'm an Iowa State grad. I graduated with my civil engineering degree in 2020. So I'm a newly licensed civil engineer in Texas. I actually just got my certificate in the mail and my stamp, so it's official. Before I reached this milestone, I was exactly where you are, studying for my FE exam. I know what it's like to try to study for these exams while juggling work, school, life. I created Degree to PE to basically serve as a resource that I wish I had when I was studying for these exams, and just want to make it as enjoyable and fun for my fellow engineers as I can. So yeah, I'll be releasing a full course by the end of summer 2025. So if you're interested in following along and getting some free prep content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I also post videos on TikTok and LinkedIn. You can just search for Degree to PE if you're interested in those. So what is the FE exam? The Fundamentals of Engineering, or FE exam, is basically your first step in the process to becoming a professional engineer, also known as a PE. And for civil engineers, it's really important to pursue licensure, especially if you intend to be on the design side of the house, because PEs are the signing authority for construction plans. Also, once you take and pass your FE exam, you can apply for your EIT license, which stands for Engineering Training. Having that license can give you a competitive advantage while you're looking for jobs, because it shows prospective employers that you're competent and you're already taking steps towards getting your PE license. The FE exam is administered by the National Council of Examiners for Engineering and Surveying. We call it the NCEES for short, obviously. So what are the requirements for the FE exam? Requirements for the FE exam will vary state by state, but you can visit the NCEES website to check what the requirements are in your state. Because I went to Iowa State and took the FE exam during my senior year, let's look at the requirements for Iowa. So it says the Iowa board does not require FE examinees to submit an application or an additional fee prior to registering with the NCEES and scheduling an exam. So it doesn't look like there are requirements for Iowa. Now that I practice in Texas, we can also look at the Texas requirements, which it also doesn't seem like there are any. So if there are no requirements to take the FE in your state, all you have to do is create an account and register online. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about how you can register for the exam and how much it costs. Like I was saying, registering for your FE exam is really simple and easy. All you need to do is make an NCEES account online. And then once you have an account, you can register, choose your test location, and schedule your appointment through your NCEES account. If you haven't done so already, feel free to pause this video so you can go ahead and make one, and then unpause it when you're ready to go over the next steps. Once you have logged into your NCEES account, you can go to the exam section, select Fundamentals of Engineering and the discipline that you intend to practice. So if you're studying civil engineering or you got a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, I would recommend you take the FE Civil exam, even if you had like an environmental or geotechnical focus. For me personally, I was a civil engineering major, but I had an environmental focus, which meant I took a lot of chemistry. But overall, looking at the exam topics for the FE Civil exam, I thought that what I learned during my time at school better than the FE environmental exam did. Just feel free to look at the topics, select the exam that makes most sense for you. The cost of the exam today is $225. If you're a student and that seems like a lot, it was for me when I was in undergrad, check with your school's engineering department or some of your school's resource groups to see if there's a reimbursement program for your exam fee. There was one when I was in undergrad, so that was really helpful, not having to worry about the cost of the exam. Or even if you're a young professional, check to see if your company will pay for the exam as well as any prep material that you buy. Now let's go over the exam format and what's on the FE Civil exam. So the FE exam, it's now a computer-based exam that you can take year-round at any NCEES approved testing locations. The exam has 110 questions and the appointment time is 6 hours. That also includes a 25-minute scheduled break and about 10 minutes at the beginning for the non-disclosure agreement and tutorial, which leaves you with 5 hours and 20 minutes to actually respond to the exam questions. So that leaves you about 3 minutes per question if you're doing the math. So when you're studying for the exam, you'll know you're in a good place when you're able to answer questions within 3 minutes or less. While you can't bring any reference material into the exam, there is an electronic and searchable reference manual that you can use. So while you're preparing for the FE exam, make sure you always have that reference manual handy so that you get comfortable using it, you know what formulas are included in there and what keywords to look up when you do go to search the PDF. So another really helpful document on the NCEES website are their exam specs. So let's go ahead and open the one for the FE Civil exam. So I like this document a lot because not only does it tell you what topics are on the exam, it also tells you how many questions you can expect per topic on the exam, which is super helpful and tells you basically where you should focus a lot of your study time to make sure you're comfortable. In the morning session of the FE exam, most of the questions are going to be over the general topics like math and statistics, ethics and professional practice, engineering economics. And then in the afternoon portion, that's when you have the more specific topics to the discipline that you chose. So in the FE Civil exam, that's where you'll see more of the water resources and environmental engineering questions, as well as the structural, geotech, transportation, and construction engineering questions. So now that we've gone over what is on the exam, let's talk about when you should take it. Just due to the material that's on the exam, you really don't want to take it until you've taken courses related to these topics. So that's usually going to be about your senior year. I took mine during my senior year, during my last semester. It was during COVID, so it was a really weird time, but it all worked out. I felt very comfortable with the material when I took it just because I had just taken a lot of those classes the year prior, so it was pretty fresh in my memory. But you can also take it like right after you graduate or during your first year working in the industry. Results and pass rates. So the NCEES provides pass rates on their website, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. What's really awesome about these is that they're updated every 6 months. So they'll update in January and July. So as of January 2025, the pass rate for the FE Civil exam is 64%. After you take the exam, you should get your results within 14 days. You get a point for every question that you answer correctly. You don't get negative points for answering incorrectly, so that's nice. And then once you have a total score, your total score is scaled along with other test takers just to account for any differences in exam difficulty or the different test formats. I think I got my results within 5 days, so it was really nice. You just go on to your NCEES account and it'll just say pass or fail. If you pass, you don't get any information related to how well you did on the exam, like how many questions you got right or wrong. But if you do fail the exam, they do give you a diagnostics report so you can see what your stronger areas were and what areas you need to improve on. So that's really helpful too. And then how do you study for this exam? So you're probably already managing a full course load, or maybe even you're working full time, maybe you even have a family. How do you study? You can purchase a practice exam from the NCEES website. These are really helpful and where I would start actually, so that you can assess your current understanding of all these topics. I would get the practice exam, block out a 6-hour window, go through the test, score yourself. Then you'll have a better understanding of where your current understanding of all these topics, and then you can create a study guide basically from that. But I will also link a study guide down below in the description box Generally, I would account for 3 months to prepare for this exam, just to make sure you have enough time to go over each topic and feel comfortable with the material. So there are a ton of free resources for the FE exam out there, YouTube videos, websites, blogs, things like that. Feel free to peruse the internet. But if you are interested in a one-stop shop, I will be releasing a full FE Civil prep course this summer. So feel free to subscribe to the channel to follow along. I also post practice problems on TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram. So you can follow Degree to PE on those platforms as well. And I'll also link them all in the description box. Let's talk about test day. The NCEES has a really helpful document that explains what test day is going to look like, is the examinee guide, which I'll have linked down below. So you won't be able to bring any personal items into the exam room. So on test day, just bring your ID and then bring an NCEES approved calculator. The approved calculators are listed on the NCEES website. During this course, I will be using the TI-36X as I work through practice problems. So that's everything you need to know about the FE Civil exam. I hope this video was helpful. Next week, I'll be posting Module 2, which is Mathematics and Statistics, and I'll be going over concepts first, and then later on in the video, we'll be going through practice problems. So if you're interested in that video, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to open it on camera. This is like 10 years in the making, so this is exciting. But there it is, guys. And I also got my stamp. So I got the mechanical stamp, or the self-inking stamp. Yeah, let me try to stamp something. Ooh, wow. It's the first thing I've ever stamped.